Good morning and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. My name is Sherry. If you are new, welcome. So about 2 months or so ago, I had done a video of some dry mixes that were shelf stable, and that video took off. I can put a link down the bottom so you can see that one if you'd like. And I took a poll online to all of my subscribers, and a lot of them did suggest doing another rice video and or some spices video. So today we're going to focus on rice, and I'm going to do another video out soon, and we'll do some spice videos, some mixtures. I'm currently okay right now on a few of my spices, but I can always use a little bit extra as a backup and show you guys how to do them and go from there. Now, the last time and all the times we use Jasmine Rice. Now, I get this big 25-pound bag. Is it 25 pound? Yes, it is. This big 25-pound Jasmine Rice over at Sam's Club. They have the best deal that goes on, and I would rather use the Jasmine Rice instead of the white rice that's got a little bit more flavor. Now, if you are new here, we are a family of 5, but sometimes I do cook for 6 only because my husband usually goes to work in the evenings. So there are times where I have to make sure he's got enough. So what we're doing here is making sure that we have at least 2 cups of rice per every jar. But if your family is not that large, you do not have to do that. You can still double it if you want and have leftover rice, make it into something else. Or you can go ahead, if you have a larger family, you can double or triple this recipe. But all of these recipes require 2 cups of rice. I will link the recipes down below when I'm done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start. The first one we're gonna do is, it's a Spanish rice. And anything that I use here, I will link down below so you can go ahead and get what I have. Like I said, it's gonna be 2 cups of rice. And then for the Spanish rice, it does call for uncooked spaghetti. So I have some uncooked spaghetti here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and break it all up. This also calls for, I have another rice a little further down. It calls for dried tomato powder. I don't have anything like that. One day, hopefully soon, I will go ahead and get a Harvest Right freeze dryer, but currently right now I do not have that. So I'm just gonna use tomato paste when I need to go ahead and use this particular recipe and then the other recipe. Now, some of these do call for chicken bouillon dried in here. If you do not have that, you know, you're welcome just to make these with chicken broth or beef broth if you choose, or a veggie broth if you'd like, okay? So this does call for 1.5 cups, and I know it's not gonna be 1.5. Oh, it really was. Hey, look at that, even with a few losses. Now you do wanna break them down. I'm gonna break it down just a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should have done that a little bit after some of the other seasonings put in. Now, yes, you can go ahead and mix all of this stuff in a jar. I'm sorry, not in a jar, in a bowl, and then go ahead and mix it all up. I've done that before, but even still, everything sometimes will settle down and you still will need to kind of give it a mix. That's totally okay. So we need some salt. Now, like I said, I'll give all the recipe descriptions down below. A little bit of salt, some minced onions. And I'm just using, this is my tablespoon, but I'm not quite putting, you know, these are 2 teaspoons, so that's all I'm doing. And then a teaspoon of chili powder. I don't have chili powder because I did use all of my chili powder when I made my chili seasonings. So I'm just gonna use my chili seasonings for that, and that's not a big deal. Oops. Did not mean to do that. And this is all that is required. You do use the tomato paste, dried if you have it. Yeah, see, that worked a little bit better. Okay. And I still have just a little bit more room. I am going to use just a dry erase marker because I done permanent marker on some of these and I don't want to. I have brand new lids that I just got from Amazon for the 4 jars. So I'm just using these for now. And I'm just writing Spanish rice. And then, like I said, cook this with, I mean, you can do water if you don't have any homemade broth or anything like that. But you can do water, you can do veggies, or even beef if you like to. All right, so I'm only doing, like I said, one of these ones. I want to go ahead and give it a try with my family first before I make more batches. I have a couple over here. We are out of our chicken and beef broth. No, I'm sorry, not beef broth, but our chicken and our beef rice flavored mixes. And my family absolutely love those ones. So that's what we're gonna make a couple of extra over here. But we're gonna do those ones after the fact. All right, so let's keep on moving. And we're making yellow rice here. This calls for a 1/2 cup. That's about good on that one. And we got a basil. Parsley, and then I got all of these beautiful lids also too off Amazon, and I can link those down below as well. Dill weed. Now I usually don't keep dill weed on hand, but I'm glad I did for this one. And you can always add a little bit more or a little bit less to any type of seasonings that I have. You know, adjust it to your particular flavor. This is seasoning salt, which I will show you how I make as well. And this recipe here did call for lemon pepper. I don't have lemon pepper here in my house, but I have pepper. And then if I really want to, what did I do with that? Oh, and if I really want to, I can go ahead and add, you know, I have some lemons. So one of my daughters and I, we love to squeeze the lemons. We'll buy like 3, 4, 5 pounds at a time. And we will just do one big juicing day. We'll do lemons and limes. Sometimes we've even done oranges as well. It doesn't never hurt to go ahead and have fresh squeezed orange juice in your, we do it in our, hold on, ice cube trays, because our refrigerator does our own ice cubes. So I have no other need for these, but I didn't want to get rid of them. And these are perfect. You can even go ahead. Now, sometimes I put my garlic pucks just on a cookie sheet with a cookie cutter and stuff, but you can also do your garlic pucks in here. And I just fill this all up with like orange, not orange juice, but lime juice and lemon juice. Freeze these, take them out, and then use them in a Ziploc bag. And then that is also too perfect for you want to have fresh lemon juice. Also too, there are hard times where I've taken the lemon zest and I will go ahead and put it in those ice cube trays for the lemons, and then that way you have fresh lemon zest as well as fresh lemon juice going into whatever you need. So this is yellow rice. Got all my other spices back there because I don't know what I'm gonna need. All right, so now we're gonna do Italian rice. If you are wondering why I keep looking right there, I have all my recipes written down. I'm good, but I'm not that good at remembering. All right, so then that one is crushed basil. Did I turn the basil over here? I thought I had, oh, it's right in front of me. Ha! That's how good I am. So it's 1 tablespoon of basil. Yeah, so this is Italian rice, garlic powder. Whew, gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Whew. Whew, all these spices. All right, so this is a teaspoon of garlic, a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, and then I didn't do the Italian seasoning because this is my Italian. And then, so we did thyme in that. All right, and then this one here also suggests tomato powder. If you do that, it is 2 teaspoons. No salt and pepper added to this one, but if you still wanted to go ahead and add a little bit of to your flavoring, you sure can. And I'll bring you along when we go ahead and use these ones up. All right, I'm gonna flip my little chart over. Oh, I thought, all right, so I do have one more, but I don't remember where I put it. I'll have to go find that. So this one here is called a veggie rice. Now this one does call for like dried pepper, peas, carrots, and dried peppers, but I don't have any of that here on site. You are more than welcome to go ahead and add any frozen, canned, or if you have fresh from the garden. I mean, obviously fresh would be so much better, but you have your options to choose from that. I am just straight going to use my dry ingredients. When I make this, I will then add the veggies when I'm done, or as it's cooking. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to this one. And then this cries for onion and parsley. Actually, this was 2 things of onions. Add a little bit more. All right. So that one is done. So you see how easy these are. And then when you have a very rushed evening, then you don't have to worry about trying to figure out what you want, or if somebody said, hey, I want some rice, you can go ahead and give yourself a little bit of extra flavoring, an extra hand, I mean, not flavoring. Well, I mean, it'll be extra flavoring, but you can go ahead and definitely use this for that. All right. And then this is the Mexican rice. Again, this one here calls for dried powder tomato, and I don't have that. But this does call for minced onions. Calls for a big teaspoon. I'll do a tad more. We like our chicken flavored. And this does call for dried peppers as well, which again, like I said, I don't have. So it's calling also too for garlic powder, a little bit of salt. And just remember, you can always add more salt to it if the flavorings are not salty enough, or you can always add less salt. And so again, I do not have any regular just taco seasonings. This is my own homemade, which I am, and it's asking for a half a teaspoon, but I'm going just a tad more. And then this is asking for a half a teaspoon of cumin. And then that one's all done. Well, that went by rather quick. And I should have had another one. I'm gonna have to come back in just a second. Let me just write down Mexican. And let me be right back. All right, see, I knew I had one more. This is a Greek rice. And again, I've never done this before, but I am excited on how this goes. I knew I had 6 recipes. I just didn't double check my other paperwork. All right, so then this one includes a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, a teaspoon of chicken, listen to me, silly, garlic powder. We have some dried parsley. We have dried dill. That was the whole reason why I wanted to do this one too, so we could use up some of this dill. This is 2 teaspoons of dill, salt and pepper, and that was it. All right, see how fast these were? Now you have 6 different flavorings. This also does require lemon zest. If you had powdered lemon zest, go right ahead. This is why I was talking about lemon zest just a little bit ago, because I knew I had another recipe that called for lemon zest, and you can certainly add that in there at that time frame. So I just want to say thank you so much for visiting my home today. If you like these videos and you would like to see more, please like, share, but most importantly, subscribe and keep on cooking. Bye.